course instructor for the data mining course, let's say, and you have given an assignment to your students which you expect them to do individually. But when the submissions come to you, you realize that the students have copied from each other. So you would like to see all the assignments that the students have submitted and determine which students have copied from each other, as in which are the similar assignments. Now in case the size of the class is very big and let's say there are hundreds or thousands of the students, it is very difficult for you to determine each and every case of plagiarism or copy. In this case you need a computer which can look at this entire corpus of assignments and figure out which of these documents or which of these assignments are similar. Imagine another scenario where you search something on Google. Let's say you search for data mining and hit enter. As soon as you hit enter, your Google search engine or your search engine, it starts jumping from one document to another, determining the relevant documents, the relevant web pages to answer your query. And while it is attempting to do so, assume it comes across some duplicate web pages. Now, are there duplicate web pages on internet? And the answer is pretty much yes. According to an estimate, around 29% of the web is duplicated. How can such duplications occur? They can occur. Assume I come across the web page of a scientist and I find a very intriguing story there, and I want this same story to be present on my web page. Now please note that I do not want the link to the story of this scientist, rather I want this story as it is to be replicated on my web page. So I take the desired permissions from the scientist and replicate this story on my web page. This will result in a set of duplicate web pages, right? So these two web pages will be duplicate. In case this web page has only story, then little bit of the surrounding information will be different, but these web pages will be mostly similar to each other. In such way, there are many other ways in which there can be duplication among web pages. One is the idea of a mirror. We use mirror sites for downloading items. Their content is also almost duplicate. Now in this case, your search engine might come across a lot of relevant documents, but many documents among these may be duplicate. For example, say this and this. So these two documents are duplicate. What happens if your search engine starts taking all these documents one by one and starts throwing on your face? You might not like it because maybe this is the first link. You open it, get some information. Okay, very nice. You take second web page, open it and you see the same information. You come to the third link, say this and have the same information. So you do not expect your search engine to do this. Rather, you want your search engine to be smart enough to determine that yes, this set of web pages are similar, and your search engine should realize that I should return only one out of these web pages to the user, probably the most suitable one. So in this particular example, a search engine should be able to identify the similar web pages. Let's come to a final example, our third example. Let me ask you a question. Do you shop online? And now you may be thinking, what a dumb question is she asking? Yes, I do. Almost 8 out of the 10 consumers shop online. And when you do online shopping, you realize that there are a lot of benefits to it. It's comfortable, easy and cheap. But what is the biggest benefit that it offers you? The biggest benefit is your computer system seems to be smart enough to know your likes and dislikes. It tells you buy this or buy this. And you realize that most of the times whatever it suggests to you is actually what you want to purchase. So such kind of a recommendation system where an online website suggests you to buy a particular item is very popular these days. Most of these recommendations are just awesome. But giving these recommendations doesn't come very simply. It has a whole lot of science behind it. It's actually a research topic in itself. But let's look at what is the underlying intuition behind this. The underlying intuition is very simple. So website might look at your past purchases, assume that you have purchased all these items, and will look at the similarity among these items. So in this very particular case, it seems that you mostly like sweet items which are kind of desserts. So in this case, the website will suggest you or recommend you a dessert, a sweet perhaps, and hence it is looking here for similar items. In another case, it might be looking at similar customers as well. Now what does similar customers have to do here? And they have pretty much to do here. Assume that your website discovers that, assume this is you and this is somebody else, and the website discovers that both of you are similar. In case both of you are similar and this person likes sweets, then it is quite likely that you will also like sweets. So this way also recommendations are made, and hence in this very particular example our question boils down to finding similar items or similar users. So let's quickly recap. We talked about similar documents. How can we find out similar documents in these submissions made by students? We talked about similar web pages. How can a search engine determine whether two web pages are similar or not, so that it can be a smart search engine and show only relevant results to the user? And the third one, how can we find out similar users and similar items? And obviously a human being can't do all these things. There are millions of web pages in the world. There are so many items and so many customers on online portals. There can be so many submissions. So we essentially need a computer to do this. We need a smart approach. And when you need a computer to do this, your computer also needs something. Your computer needs relevant data structure and relevant algorithms. So that is what we'll look in this chapter. How do we determine the set of similar items? May they be web pages, may they be some items, some persons or some documents. How do we do that with the help of a computer? How do we design data structures for this, and how can we determine an algorithm for